Hi, this is Chris Mick again, and I'm going to tell you about a software I just got. It's the Wavetable creator by Ocean Swift, and from this brilliant little piece of software, I'm going to show you how I use it in a different surrounding, especially with Ocean Swift's Porphyra, one of the first Contact 8 plugins you can use. I use it as NKS with Native Instruments control, so I can totally control it. And then I show it within Pigments of Arturia, the wavetable I created with the first software I mentioned. And in the end, I go over to this Waldorf Quantum here and gonna have a look, how can I import this wavetable into Quantum and use it there. So it's different parts. You don't have to watch the whole video here. But most interesting is it's not a tutorial about this software, but it's some ideas how I can use it, and especially educationally, especially everything starting with this wavetable creator. I think you get it for about 25 bucks or 40 bucks right now, so it's not a big deal. But it sounds so profane. These wavetables normally for themselves are pretty dull, yes, but once you put it into Porphyra or into one of the other machines I just mentioned, it's really brilliant what you can do, and you might learn a lot about wavetables, of course. How do they function and how can you make them, but also about sound synthesis in general. So it's a very nice educational tool, this one here, and you can see what if you start very simple with a little wavetable, what you can do with this sound, sort of sound synthesis. It's really brilliant what you have seen in PPG tools in the 80s, and what is still one of the core synthesis forms you might use today as it comes to digital. It's digital. It's not like using these analog tools I have here, like the Prophet or the Oberheim or the Moog. So it has a different charm, and let's have a look about this. So you don't have to watch everything here. You can scroll through this video and see how does he use it within Porphyra, and how does it do it with Waldorf Quantum, which is not that easy, I found, but I show you how it's been done. So have fun with that, and very special video now, but let's see how it works. Here we go. This is Wavetable Creator version 1.4.2 by Ocean Swift, and this is not a tutorial about this program. It's just some ideas how you can use it and how to understand wavetables. I think the most interesting aspect about this program is that you can use it for education, yes, and even educating yourself about understanding of wavetables. It's pretty easy. You got two waves here, and you can have a start and early, middle, late end. That means wavetables, as you might know, you can stroll through these different waves that it's creating via sampling. But it's not sampling, it's creating discrete signs or other waveforms that can be laid down on some sort of table, and you can stroll through them via modulation or whatever. So it's pretty easy. If you want to have a sign, it's already in here, you play it, and you have to put in a valid audio driver. I got this as a L12 here, and here's a very low 55 Hertz, and you can change this Hertz, and this is a pure sine wave, yes, and you see it down here. So this is pretty easy. And what about if you want to have this table, you go to the other parts here, you do a triangular, you do whatever saw. That's easy to understand. Even by trial and error you understand that, and you see immediately down here, and then it sounds pretty different from the first one that's only a sine wave, yes. You can have this wave too, you can mix them up. You can also start with a sine wave or a frequency modulated sine wave. Let's do something different here. There's many opportunities to shape it, different waves. You see so many waves in here, and this is the educational aspect. You can take this single waves and show them down here, and everybody understands immediately what's it all about. And if you mix them, then it becomes sort of a super big, like a modular system, where you're mixing these different waves with one with the other, and you have this shapers here that shape the waves, like Nyquist or clip medium. I put that in. You see immediately it's shaping here, and the most important thing for me is this interaction. You have these two waves now here. You can crossfade them one to the other. You can zigzag both. Most of these aspects are, you mix them 65 to 35. So these are both waves that are mixed here and use a different frequency. So this is very easy to understand, and by that you immediately have a wave and can export it. And then it comes to the settings here. And normally this is interesting, and you don't find it in all those tutorials. The frame size means how many samples do you need for one of these cycles. It's one cycle, and that's looped in a way. If you have a sine wave, it's one cycle and it's looped, and then you have this permanent sine wave. But how good is it sampled? How good is the quality? And that depends on this here. And you can go up and down, and 2048 is used by most software. You can export this afterwards. Yeah, we come to that later on. And then the question is, how many cycles do you need? That's sort of the meaning of, you have this table, and how many of these waves do you lay down on this table, one after the other? Is it only 5? Then you have the steps from one to the other, and that might not sound very good. The more you get here, the more interesting is it to interpolate between these waves, that you have a smooth going from one to the other, and that's what we need in sound synthesis or in the other apps. I'm going to show you later on. So normally I choose about this 100. Sample rate is not that important here, and bit depth, leave it like that. And then you have put up a folder where it's going. And after that, you just say create a file, and this is normally a WAV file. But what you have to know here is that different synths might use different frame sizes or different cycles here, yes? So if it's Serum, and that's what they thought about, you can do Zebra 2 or Dune. And this is a special one. Dune uses a special thing here. And you see immediately Dune appears here, and then you export it and you can import it into Dune. I'm going to do that later on, but for now we say like that here, because I use that in many other programs, and just say create a file, blah, 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 Ocean Swift, Wavetable, yes, 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 and it's going to my desktop and it's saved. You can do batch or single cycles here. You can export them and use them, but normally I do just file and that's it. If you don't want to hassle around with that stuff here, you can say random, but that's not so interesting, I think, because you really get into wavetables if you're understanding this part here and starting with this and sine, and you see what's happening here. And you really get into wavetables if you know about these frame sizes and cycles and how they behave in a different surrounding than just creating them here. Of course, you see just random something and you have it here, and it's taking out of this very many opportunities here. It's taking something. And you even can automize here, randomizing, doing a batch that it's doing 5 or whatever wave files you can use later on. But that's just randomizing. What's more important and what's really an opportunity in this program is, I would use it in seminars to make students understand what are these waves, how do they sound, how can your frequency modulate them. Well, it's not sound synthesis. For that you need filters and everything. We come to that now. So I exported this file here, and it's a wave file. It's on my desktop, and let's see how it works in another program from Ocean Swift, Wavetable Creator, from Ocean Swift. It's Porphyra. We get to that now. Okay. Or Porphyra, or Porphyra, as a geologist, you might know what it means. And at first sight, it doesn't look that complex. They don't have this overload of features and everything. Really a nice opportunity to understand what's going on here, yes? Because it sounds like this, and I steer it within complete control now, not within contact 8. They recommend take contact 8. This is the basis of it, or the contact 8 player if you don't have contact 8. But I found I can import it into complete control and then control it totally and immediately as an NKS instrument from my complete keyboard here, the S2 Mark II or the S3 Mark III, whatever you have. So what you see in the middle here is there's a wavetable, there's a sample, and I can, via the modulation wheel of my keyboard, I can switch between both. You see this little thing here within this eye, and so it's morphing between two things. And that also means if you have here a wavetable that's morphing within what you did in the other software I just showed, you could put in a second wavetable here and morph while they're morphing within themselves, morphing between both of them. And this is really complex. It's really overload to understand what's going on there. You often end up with trial and error, but that's not the goal. Try to keep it simple, then you understand. So I take my wavetable here. I just create it with the wavetable creator. From then go to the left side. And this is my wavetable. And it sounds a little bit pimped here because they have this effect section and they have now a reverb in here. I can switch it off and you see how it's normally sounding, yes? You still have the ADSR and filters. In this case now you can tweak your wavetables in any way that you might find interesting. So this is a simple wavetable, and go back to the main again. Fine-tuning, morphing. You see now I'm morphing through these different waves. You see it up there. Even the phase can be different one. Also morphing. And you have a different shapers here. Depth. You go to totally different territory right now from this simple wave I had, yes? And you have a filter. And here you have the envelope for amp, or you can take a filter envelope. Sorry about that. This is a mistake of Mac OS Sequoia. Or modulations here. Then you have an LFO. You can route it to like pitch, and also here. And so on, yes. Many modulators, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what do I have to say about that? You can do the same here with a different wave, or I take the same, I would take a different wavetable for the other side here. But if I mix it with a sample, it sounds like this. This is mine, this is the sample. So, of course, they have presets and all the things the other software has, but what I really like is if you connect this with their wavetable creator, you have both worlds. You can create and understand what am I creating here from scratch, and if you're getting into wavetable synthesis, you can define where do I want to go, which sort of basic sound do I want to have. I can scroll through. Does it have 100 cycles, or how many do I have, and sample rate and everything you can define. Then you have this file. Just draw it in here, and then the fun starts within Porphyra. So it's a perfect couple for me. But that's not everything. You can put this sample I just put in here also into other software. I just give you two examples. One is Pigments by Arturia, and the other one is my quantum hardware synth here. Let's see how this one works. Okay, let's look about that. So here we have Pigments by Arturia, and the same game as with Porphyra, but you see this is much more complex, and I'm not sure if I really want to have it that complex, so I would prefer Porphyra because it's very close from the ideas of the makers to Wavetable maker. And I take the same wave I put into the other one, and you have this, and you see, yes, you can see how you can stroll through these 100 waves that Wavetable maker generated, and then you can take the modulators and everything like position and yes, MFL1, and you know how Pigments works, but just to let you know, it's working seamlessly. You have this wavetable and it's getting in there, and the format, the normal format, also works within Pigments. A different thing is with Dune, then you have to export the wavetable as Dune format from the wavetable creator, not maker, creator. You can work with it in Dune or Zebra by UHE. You can also use it. But let's have a look. How do I get this wavetable you see here into my Waldorf Quantum hardware? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go to the Quantum now with this wavetable I created with Wavetable Creator. I put it on USB stick, not SD card, but could also use an SD card. And then I say load here. And I say init, and then I go to oscillator 1 and I say it's got to be wavetable. So this is a wavetable, and normally there's nothing in there. Then I go into tools and say import from wave, and then I say it's a USB drive, and I got all these waves tables on the USB drive, and then I say okay, load it. And save period to 2048, it does it automatically. You remember that from the software. And just say load, and then it is in here. And that's how it sounds. And now I tweak around with it. I just do it and record a little bit and tell what I'm doing here. Okay, as I said, this is the wavetable, and I can stroll the position. So it's kind of the same as with the software, but I can also say travel, and it goes automatically through it. And with filter, can do that. Yes, and then I put in some effects. I go into the effect. Let's take chorus. And effect 2, I'll take, let's say, reverb. Okay, reverb again. Out of this simple wavetable, I can really do some things. If I go into the wavetable again and also the spectrum. Different positions here. Then I mix it up with other waveforms. crusher. Okay, so you got a short impression about what I can do with the quantum. For me, it's better to do it with hardware than with synths, but with software. But if I do it with software, I would do it with Porphyra because that's nearest to what they do. So two aspects, software, hardware, and all start with this wavetable creator. Well, that's brilliant. That's for now.